it's a spicy matchup in the Fiesta Bowl. Not the matchup we expected. Ole Miss against Miami for a spot in the national championship. Ferris State transfer, Trinidad Chambliss and the Rebels upset Georgia to get here. Carson Beck transfer from Georgia to Miami, and here he is leading the Canes to the CFP Semifinals. 2 upset wins to get here. Texas A&M in the first round, then the defending national champs in the quarterfinals. Back here with Emory Hunt, Beanie Wells, and Adam Breneman. And Adam, how about this matchup? Not the one we expected, Miami against Ole Miss.
Yeah, it's the battle of the underdogs that no one thought would actually be here. And I really think the challenge for both these teams now is going to be everyone will be telling them how good they are for the next week until they play their next game. I mean, for Miami to go out and dominate the way they did against Ohio State on the line of scrimmage, the way that offensive and defensive line is built in Mario Cristobal, their head coach's identity, and how they pushed Ohio State around. There's a lot of confidence for this Miami program. Now you look at Ole Miss, who just beat Georgia, a team that's a perennial powerhouse in college football. A lot of confidence. There's going to be a lot of hype going into this ball game. Who can control and handle the noise the best?
Yeah, I can't wait to watch this matchup. You know, one of the things that we saw last night from the University of Miami is their ability to get after the passer. You know, Ruben Bain, Akeem Messidor, they were so dominant in that football game, and you most certainly have to worry if you're Trinidad Chambliss and Ole Miss of how you're going to stop those guys. Is Keywan Lacey and the tight end going to be in that protection? You're going to have to go max pass pro majority of the time because those guys are so dominant. And then Mark Fletcher Jr., he's found that light switch all of a sudden in the playoffs. And like you said last night, he's like Terrell Davis in 1997. And that playoff run, he's running that pill, man.
Yeah, and here's what I love about this matchup is the fact that we've seen these guys play at their best. We've seen the best of Miami so far this playoff run. They've done a great job on both sides of the ball, especially at the point of attack. We're watching Ole Miss do magical things. They got rid of Tulane pretty quickly and effectively, but we also just watched them dominate Georgia in certain aspects of a game where Georgia usually dominates. So this is a true tug of war that we're going to see from both teams, and it's going to come down to the quarterback or somebody having to play above the X's and O's or do something special in a special moment to win the game, because both teams are eerily similar across the board.
Miami with 2 upset wins to get here, Texas A&M and Ohio State. Beanie, what has to happen for Carson Beck and the Canes to beat Ole Miss?
Obviously, they got to rush the passer. They have to get after the passer and, like you said, do something uncharacteristic. Well, I guess it would be characteristic because last night we saw them force turnovers that turned into points. And that's something that they'll most certainly have to do versus Ole Miss if they want a chance to win. It's just not going to be scoring on the offensive side. You're going to have to create opportunities to lead to you being in the end zone.
Yeah, to me, it really comes down to Carson Beck. And can he continue to take care of the football? We've seen a version of Carson Beck before where he doesn't take care of the football, where he forces the ball down the field. When Miami wins games, when they're at their best, they're running the football well, and Carson Beck is making easy throws. He's taking the shots when they're there, but he doesn't turn the football over. He's an experienced quarterback. You see his wins right here over his 3 years of college football starting. He's a guy who knows how to win ball games, but he can't try to do too much and force it.
I'm always saying dance with the person you brought to the party. And in this situation, they're going to have to find a different tune to dance with, because if you go in there with the same thing that you have done all season long, run the football, play good defense, it's going to require Carson Beck to do what we saw in some of those still shots of him running the football. I thought that was a game changer for him against Ohio State. They didn't expect him to go and get the first down with his legs and fight through a tackle to make sure he got the first down. So Carson Beck is going to have to play special. He's going to have to go from being a game manager to a game changer. And if he can do that versus Ole Miss, I'm not saying he has to be what Gunnar Stockton was for Georgia and go back and forth, but you can't go out there and throw for 100-plus yards against his defense, and one of the touchdowns being a slip screen that the receiver took it the long way. He has to make sure 250 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. That's what it's going to take to beat Ole Miss.
Well, he's playing his best football right now. Carson Beck, 15-3 against ranked teams in his career. Miami's 6-0 against ranked teams this season. The Canes are 3.5-point favorites, so they will not be the underdogs in this game. Emory, who's your pick to win the Fiesta Bowl?
Listen, let me run it down to you. If we did a quick,
ready.
who has the edge, right? It's Miami has run game, defensive line, offensive line. Ole Miss has run game, defense, and a litany of weapons at wide receiver. Every time we're talking about wide receiver for Miami, we're talking about one dude, Malachi Tony, right? But the difference is the quarterback, Trinidad Chambliss, who has the upside of, hey, I can go out and show them again. I've done it before in a championship game. I did it at the Division II level twice. I can go do it here versus Miami. I think that'll be the difference in this ball game. So I am taking the Ole Miss Rebels to knock out Miami.
I'm right there with you. You know, I got to go with Ole Miss and Trinidad Chambliss. Last night we saw Miami take advantage of a young quarterback in Julian Sand. That won't be the case with Trinidad Chambliss. We watched him show the most field awareness that we've seen out of any quarterback in the country today, and I think that's going to be more of the same next week.
Yeah, I think Trinidad Chambliss takes over this Fiesta Bowl, wins the game for his team. What he just did in this game against Georgia, remarkable. That momentum will carry him on. I got Ole Miss playing in the national championship.
Yo, all three of you picking Ole Miss?
We are?
Yeah. A little bit of recency bias.
No.
Yeah, we just saw Ole Miss.
No, I got Miami. Miami is winning this game. And you know why Miami's going to win this game? Because they're going to win this game for Lane Kiffin.
Oh.
Okay? Lane Kiffin's going to call Mario Cristobal and say, hey, you cannot let my old team beat you. That's what he's going to say. He's going to go, don't let it happen. I know that you guys, I know. Hey, Miami, you're 0-4 in the Fiesta Bowl. I know your history, okay? So why don't you go get a win out there in Glendale, Arizona? Don't go partying. Just go and lock in, right? Don't go out there and have a vacation like you all did back in the day.
Right. You know what it's going to be? All the old Miami guys are going to be out there.
Yep.
They're going to start feeding the young guys ego a little bit too much.
Yeah.
They're going to want to party. And they're going to think
Take
they're
him out to
South
Old
Beach.
Town, Scottsdale.
And they're going to be in the Old Town. And that's going to cause crazy havoc because I've been there. I lived it. I've experienced it being there in Scottsdale, Arizona as a young kid. And you can't get enough of your ego being
Tell us
stroked.
more about that.
Yeah, exactly. It was some conversation for off air.
Well, the conversation will continue here on CBS Sports HQ. Kickoff for the Fiesta Bowl next Thursday, 7:30 Eastern from Glendale, Arizona. Miami and Ole Miss playing for a spot in the national championship. Both teams making their first ever CFP Semifinal appearance. And yes, Lane Kiffin will be glued to this game, hoping that Miami beats Ole Miss, because if Lane Kiffin left Ole Miss and his team gets the national championship, oh boy, that's going to be some major, major drama. Back here with Emory Hunt, Beanie Wells, and Adam Breneman here to make their picks to win the Natty. Adam, start with you. Who's your pick to win the college football playoff national championship?
Well, I got Indiana beating Oregon to get in the championship, Ole Miss beating Miami. And listen, I'm taking the Indiana Hoosiers. They complete the greatest story, the greatest turnaround we've seen in college football history. Kirk Cinetti gets it done because that's all he does. He wins big games. The Heisman Trophy winner, Fernando Mendoza, is the best quarterback in the country, and he will get it done on the biggest stage.
Look, I'm calling for Indiana to win a national championship as well. I think they beat Ole Miss, two programs that are making history with what they've done this football season. But nonetheless, Indiana gets it done. Kirk Cinetti has been phenomenal. I can't wait for this storyline to unfold right in front of our eyes.
I got Ole Miss playing Indiana in a national championship game, but I have Ole Miss winning this championship.
Wow.
And I just want to be there on Paramount Plus when we have the national championship story where Hakeem Dermish will play Kirk Cinetti. I'll be playing Trinidad Chambliss as a short quarterback. So I just think Ole Miss has that juice, has the spice. Indiana's the most disciplined team, the best team overall. But, man, there's something about this Ole Miss team. I like them to win a national championship.
I win. Google me.
See, you would do a perfect Cignetti.
That was good.
I don't know if I could do Cignetti. He's a phenomenal head coach, and his cadence, I don't know that I could pull it off. But I am going to back the Hoosiers because here's why. Indiana is the most complete football team left. There's no question about it. Fernando Mendoza, where was he born? Miami. Who are they going to play in the national championship? Miami. Where's the national championship game been played? Miami. Fernando Mendoza, Heisman Mendoza, is going to beat Miami in the Hurricanes' home stadium to win the school's first national championship. Who's your daddy? Indiana, national champs.
Now, if Miami Dolphins are listening, do you trade up to go get Mendoza? You just complete the circle?
Yes. That's exactly what you do.
A lot of
All
tickets.
about Miami.
Exactly, right?
That's right. That storyline would be incredible, right?
good.
Wow.
Right.
Indiana, Miami.
Hometown kid.
Yeah, it's
Come on.
hometown, winning it right there.
Right.
I love
Resurgence
it.
of
You just
two
convinced me.
programs.
Exactly, right?
Well, Indiana has the shortest odds to win it all as we take a look at the odds to win the college football playoff national championship. Right now listed at plus 128, followed by their counterpart in the Peach Bowl. Look, that's honestly, the winner of that game wins the national championship. That's why we'll add that.
No respect for the Rebels.
I was disrespectful. Ole Miss just
Well,
throttled Georgia.
Look, some people count out the Rebels. I mean, probably, maybe Lane Kiffin's got a ticket. Ole Miss. He's looking to cash in. I know he cashed in on their win against Georgia. So who's going to cash in on Monday, January 19th in Miami for the national championship?